Hey guys, Zabracus here, and today we are having a special edition of Thirstday, where we are going to rant about popcorn. While we drink some High West Whiskey, we're gonna have their campfire today. This is a special whiskey for me. It is local to Utah, which is where I am from. And it is delectable. This one is particularly delicious because it has a nice smoky flavor. So if you're into that, cool. So as always, make sure that you are drinking responsibly. Only drink if you are over the age of whatever the legal drinking age is in your country, wherever you live. And don't do stupid stuff while you're drinking. That's not okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be that person. So, without further ado, let's talk about popcorn. Okay, cheers. All right, so also I should add, we've got some popcorn here. It's me. Popcorn is kind of my thing. I've got a popcorn machine behind me. Yes, that's what that is. Yes, I eat a lot of popcorn, okay? Okay. I'm a popcorn fiend, so it is only, it only makes sense that we, rant about popcorn, right? Okay, so, here we go. Oh, but remember to upvote and to subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I super appreciate it, and yeah, ranting away now. All right, so, first of all, where did, popcorn come from and stuff? So, did you guys know that, the history of popcorn is deep throughout the Americas? Corn is kind of, a staple food to the United States, right? You go through, half of the locals, by local, I mean, Midwest states in the United States, and it's corn. Given a lot of them produce it for, actual corn, or, biodiesel, or, 1,000 other corn additives, cornstarch and corn syrup and all that, but also popcorn. So it totally makes sense that corn is natural to the United States, right? Right. Cool. But corn was first domesticated about 10,000 years ago in what is now Mexico. Archaeologists discovered that people have known about popcorn for, about thousands of years. In Mexico, for example, remnants of popcorn have been found the day circa about 3600 BC. There's also been decorated funeral urns in Mexico from 300 AD that depict a maize god with popped kernels adorning his headdress. That's kind of cool. They instead of flower crowns, they had popcorn crowns. How neat is that? And evidence of popcorn is rampant throughout Central and South America, particularly Peru, Guatemala, Mexico. And the Aztec Indians also used popcorn not only for eating, but decorating their clothing and other ceremony embellishments. So cool. Native Americans throughout North America also have a rich history in documenting the consumption of popcorn. In addition to the kernels found in New Mexico and Mexico, the kernel, approximately 1,000 years old. Guys, I don't know many things that are 1,000 years old, but this is one of them. Popcorn. And it was found in a cave in Utah. Cheers. A cave that was thought to be inhabited by the Pueblo Indians. French explorers came to the New World. They found popcorn being made in the Iroquois Indians of the Great Lakes region as well. So, all over the United States and the, Central American area of popcorn land. I'm just gonna rename America Popcorn Land because that's basically what it is, right? Right. Alright, so basically, eventually colonists began moving to North America. We all know that history. They came on the Mayflower, did lots of terrible and wonderful things, blah, blah, blah. But the best thing they could have possibly done was adopt the popular Native American food, popcorn. Not only was it a snack, but it was also reported to have been eaten with milk and sugar like a breakfast cereal. So this is something I haven't tried and probably never will, but popcorn is a cereal. I think I can get behind that idea. Totally. Totally. That was big. I apologize. Also, popcorn that was cooked by the colonists was often cooked with a little bit of molasses, which, you know, was like back then like corn syrup. And so it was pretty similar to making like today's kettle corn, which I hate. It's wrong. Don't get into that. We're not getting into that today. No. But anyway, as the ages went on, you know, like by the 1800s, popcorn was kind of like one of the major snack foods, right? It was not only commonly made at home, but it was also sold at general stores, concession stands, carnivals, circuses. You know, you can throw popcorn at Dumbo. Please don't throw popcorn at the animals. They don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. Okay. And then, like, through the 19th century, popping of the kernels was achieved by, you know, hand on stovetops. Kernels were sold on the east coast of the United States under the name of pearls or nonpareil, or I don't know, some weird names, okay? And the term popped corn actually first appeared in John Russell Bartlett's 1848 Dictionary of Americanisms. Who makes dictionaries of Americanisms? Like, what? Anyway, popcorn was also used as an ingredient for Cracker Jack, which I hope you guys are, like, aware of. Cracker Jacks were, like, super awesome when they, like, contained, like, prizes. They're, like, America's pastime next to baseball and apple pie. Popcorn is America's pastime, guys. It's a thing. It's a thing. But also in those early days of Cracker Jack, it was popped by hand. How neat is that? Okay, but here's what the coolest thing is. So an early popcorn machine, like as a street cart, was invented in the 1880s by Charles Cretors in Chicago. So, you know, he had to compete with the Chicago dogs. Like, no, I want a hot dog. Anyway, Cretors, a Chicago candy store owner, had created like a number of steam-powered machines for roasting nuts and applied the same technology to like kernels of corn, right? So it totally makes sense. And so, you know, by the turn of the century, he had like these special street carts and things that he could make popcorn and just sell it on the street. Like, that's awesome, right? And then during the Great Depression, popcorn was pretty inexpensive, right? It was about 5 to 10 cents a bag and became popular, which, you know, kind of makes sense. So while other businesses were like completely failing during the Great Depression, popcorn was thriving because it's awesome, okay? We got that one. All right, but the Redenbacher family, which is basically the namesake of like popcorn, right? They were like one of the main like income thriving popcorn makers during that Great Depression. And then during World War II, sugar rations diminished candy productions, you know, which kind of makes sense. And so Americans compensated by eating 3 times as much popcorn. Okay, so they couldn't eat sugar, so they ate popcorn. Smart. They're so smart. I appreciate those Americans so much. And now, although several methods of popping corn had been developed, you know, we talked about how Charles Cretors made his special thing in 1885. But then, you know what was really cool is when movie theaters started incorporating popcorn, right? So at first, it wasn't like such a popular thing because, you know, obviously like film buffs were just like, all these people just like during their movies. Obviously that can be, you know, pretty annoying and stuff. But eventually, they realized these theaters that had popcorn in their theaters were actually making more money on their popcorn sales than they were on the movies. So, put 1 and 2 plus 3 plus 4 together and profit, right? Makes sense. So therefore, popcorn became like a huge staple in movie theaters, even more so. And that's why you see it everywhere in movie theaters now. So great. Now, the problem with that is that in about like 1981 or so, or like a little bit before that, people kind of stopped going to the movie theater as often because like televisions were invented. So like, why go to the movie theater and spend money when you can watch those like same movies like on VHS or on your own like home television, right? Right. So like popcorn sales and theater sales like went down a lot. But then popcorn innovators prevailed again because they're epic. And microwave popcorn was invented. So home consumption of popcorn like skyrocketed at that point. So that basically brings us to like today, where like tons of people still have popcorn at home. They have popcorn at theaters. Theaters still make tons of money on popcorn at their theaters and other concessions which have been added. But popcorn is the most important concession at theaters because it's the best. But now, what are some other like super random but cool things about popcorn? I am so glad you asked. All right. First of all, popcorn is healthy for you. I know a lot of people don't realize that, but it's a super low calorie snack. It only contains approximately 31 calories per serving, and that's for an entire cup of popcorn. So, right, that's like a hand and a half of popcorn, which, is a decent amount. And compare this to like the same serving size of potato chips, which is like 139 calories. Not to mention like all the starch and other grossy things in potatoes. I also love potatoes. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, it's so much healthier to eat popcorn. But this comes with a caveat. If you are getting your popcorn from the movie theater and you're adding like 7 pumps of butter to it, I hate to break it to you, Joe and Karen, it's not going to be healthy at that point. Like, although regular butter is like actually really healthy for you because it's like, dairy and it has good things for you and stuff, fake butter that's on movie theater popcorn, not so good for you. But that's okay. It's whatever. Don't worry about it. But also, did I mention that popcorn is gluten-free? I feel like that should kind of talk like for itself. I mean, it's corn. Like, a corn is a grain, but it's not a gluten grain. Like, do I really need to explain this one? But anyway, for any of those of you who are like allergic to actual glutens and have gluten allergies or just are avoiding glutens because it's popular and stuff, like popcorn, it's your solution. It's totally your solution. Now, popcorn. Did someone say whole grains? Because popcorn is 100% a whole grain, okay? And it contains fiber and antioxidants. And new studies show that popcorn may actually contain more antioxidants than a day's worth of fruits and vegetables. I don't know these. I haven't seen these studies myself, so I can't verify that. But apparently these studies exist. So research them at your own will. Now, have you ever heard of the game Old Maid? Did you ever play that, like, growing up? Because unpopped popcorn kernels, which there's none in my current popcorn bin, but there's a ton in my little popcorn maker. There's a special little drawer for those. Those unpopped popcorn kernels are called Old Maids. It's a fun little fact. They have a name! So whenever you like make popcorn and you're like, just like eating and you get to the bottom of the the bowl or the barrel or whatever you're eating your popcorn out of, and there's like a giant, terrible, like, kernel. You can rest assured that that is called an Old Maid. You just broke your tooth on an Old Maid. Isn't that neat? I think it's neat. It's totally neat. Okay, but what's even cooler? So what is it exactly in popcorn that, like, makes it pop? Because, like, I hope you guys know what, like, corn looks like. I hope you know what, like, unpopped kernels look like. If you don't, we have a problem. It's just straight up. Figured out. But anyway, so of those, there are approximately 1,600, so like 1,600 kernels in a single cup of unpopped popcorn. Okay? Okay. Did you also know that kernels can, like, pop upwards of, like, 3 feet high? Like, if I didn't have, like, the like, little threshold in that little thing here, like, my popcorn would be, like, popping almost upwards to my ceiling. That's insane! It's insane! Okay. Also, America, we consume an average of 38 quarts of popcorn each. I'm pretty sure I'm, like, triple that because I eat a way more popcorn than the average American, which is fine. It's fine. But that equivalent is equal to 17 billion quarts of popcorn as a nation. Now, I know, like, that's a lot. That's a lot. Just imagine, like, a giant forest or field of popcorn, and then, like, multiply that by a lot, and then a lot, and then a lot, and then a lot. And that's how much popcorn that Americans eat. That's probably the best way to explain it to Americans, frankly. Yeah. It's the best I've got. Also, Nebraska produces the most popcorn out of any state in the United States. Now, one of the coolest things is that 70% of popcorn consumption is actually done at home. So, like, most people know that when you go to the movie theaters is when you get popcorn, right? Wrong. Because most people actually eat their popcorn at home with microwave popcorn. So, thank you, person who created microwave popcorn. You are truly our hero. All right. So that is our little rant about popcorn and the history of popcorn and all of that jazz for tonight. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you actually learned some things maybe, because that's kind of the point of this a little bit. But thank you for joining me for Thirsty Thursday on my Zabracus. I super appreciate you. Thank you for coming to my nerd house. Please make sure to vote and subscribe for this video for more related content. And until next time, stay geeky. Bye, guys.